It is exactly 1 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome from me, Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, to Lunchtime News this Wednesday, the 15th day of January 2020. The Executive Director of UNAIDS, Winnie Byanyima, has thanked President Yoweri Museveni for the contribution in the HIV/AIDS fight. At a meeting at State House in Entebbe, Byanyima congratulated the President for his efforts in fighting HIV/AIDS and driving the awareness campaign in the country. Byanyima, giving an overview of the state of affairs in the HIV/AIDS fight, told the President that efforts should be placed on messages of prevention with focus on specific groups that are at risk of infection, like sexual minorities and commercial sex workers. She briefed the President on the upcoming International Conference on AIDS and Sexually Transmitted Infections in Africa, ICASA. Uganda won the rights to host the 21st edition of the International Conference on AIDS and Sexually Transmitted Infections in Africa, which will take place next year, 2021. President Museveni welcomed and thanked Byanyima and her delegation for supporting preparations for the upcoming conference. He pledged government support in organizing the event. The President also said the laws and regulations guiding the operations of the Uganda AIDS Commission would be reviewed to ensure smooth and effective operations at the agency. To other news now, the newly appointed Principal Judge, Dr. Flavian Zeija, has taken oath of office at State House in Entebbe. Now, the ceremony was presided over by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, where the former Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Mike Chibita, was sworn in as Justice of the Supreme Court alongside two others. Let's get more in this report.
Towards the end of last year, President Museveni appointed to fill the position of Principal Judge and Justices of the Supreme Court. These are Mbarara resident judge Dr. Flavian Zeija, coming in to replace the retiring Principal Judge Dr. Yorokamba Mwine. Dr. Mike Chibita, Ezekiel Mhanguzi and Pasetu Haise as Justices of the Supreme Court.
I, Mike Chibita, swear in the name of the Almighty God,
and will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda,
and protect and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
I'm confident and energized that I, together with them, we shall execute our duties and responsibilities with the determination and professionalism to your expectation at the appointing authority and the expectations of Ugandans.
The Chief Justice Bart Katwebe thanked the President for supporting the judiciary with the timely appointment of judicial officers.
2 months ago that we were here swearing in judges of the High Court, and we are here swearing in justices of the Supreme Court and Principal Judge. I think that clearly demonstrates your continued support to the judiciary. But at the same time, sir, I have to report that with the elevation of Justice Mwanguza and Justice Tuhaise, that leaves 2 vacancies on the Court of Appeal, so we want some more.
Justice Katwebe said there is need to equip them with the tools of trade. In remark, President Yoweri Museveni commented on the need to appoint more judges, especially for the Court of Appeal, where both Justice Ezekiel Mhanguzi and Pasetu Haise have been serving.
One by one makes a bundle. Every time we come here, we are adding, we are adding, we are adding, we are adding, we are adding. I'm very happy to be part of this exercise, and I use this occasion to congratulate the new judges.
With the 3 justices, the panel of the Supreme Court is now fully constituted with the required number of 11 justices. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Thanks, Dorcas, for that report there. And later on on this program, we'll be joined by Ms. Yvonne Mpanga, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Global Business Trend. And we'll be looking at what's happening in the Global Business Trend sector to give us an update of what's happening, including their forthcoming dinner. Now moving on, a State Minister for Foreign Affairs Henry Okello Oryem has asked the Parliament through the Foreign Affairs Committee to avoid making comments on the Uganda-Rwanda issue, which would disrupt the ongoing engagements. He confirms that Presidents Museveni and Paul Kagame are already in talks over the issue, as we hear in this report.
We agreed among that it's best that in resolving this matter with Rwanda, we do not get into a situation or engage or say something that might derail the process that is already being made.
For a year now, there has been contention between Uganda and Rwanda over the closure of borders, which affected the relationship between the two countries. But early this year, President Museveni promised a new beginning for Uganda and Rwandan peace. While appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs, State Minister for Foreign Affairs Okello Oryem asked Parliament to honor the ongoing talks. He had led a team of officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to present the budget framework paper for the 2020-2021 financial year.
And I therefore ask you and beg you and beg colleagues that we have made tremendous progress and trust us that is being handled by President Museveni at the highest level, and I beg you that let us leave it as that. Apart from the Luanda agreement, the two head of states are using their direct contact to see how to resolve this matter.
On the other hand, the minister told the committee that there is a sagging business relationship between Uganda and Kenya that needs to be addressed. This is after Kenya impounded tons of Lato milk from Uganda last week. Nonetheless, while presenting the budget framework paper, the minister highlighted that there is a failure to pay areas of international organizations subscription, as well as failure to maintain a number of properties on prime land abroad over insufficient budget.
Some of Uganda's properties abroad are dilapidated and some have been condemned. Mr. Chairman, it all comes down to money. That's why, as I told earlier, I preempted this question by saying that in the absence of the money for development, we have to prioritize and try and address these issues of run-down properties and condemned properties.
On the labor export, the minister said Ugandans, especially domestic workers, are abused and need to be helped. He tasked the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to handle the complaints.
This matter, Mr. Chairman, is a matter of the domain of the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. It is them who give licenses and identify those who are responsible for exploitation of our young men and girls abroad. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs plays no role whatsoever, no iota of a role in identifying the companies that export labor abroad.
Susan Nawonga reporting for UBC TV.
Minister Oryem, they are telling the general public to avoid surging the Rwanda-Uganda issues. Meanwhile, NRM members of parliament who voted against the presidential age limit removal have been excluded from attending the party's national delegates conference. NRM party secretary general Justin Kasule Lumumba says having voted against the party laws was indiscipline. The national conference meeting slated for January 25th.
Over 14,000 delegates from village to national level, including diaspora and party promoters, are due to attend the NRM National Conference meeting selected for January 25th. Top on the agenda of the National Conference is to amend the NRM party constitution and the upcoming 2021 general elections.
The public is here cautioned that only those whose names appear on the approved lists will be allowed to access the accreditation centers and also Nambole for the national conference. So I call on all our supporters, members of NRM, in case you are not part of the participants who are clearly stated in the constitution of NRM, please, my prayer to you is that you don't come, because we have always had these issues. Please I request you don't come because you don't fall in this category and we have not catered for you for anything.
Although NRM MPs automatically qualify to attend the national conference, at this time 27 of them who voted against the age limit will not be entertained.
Then the issue of what one has called the MPs who are planning to come and cause havoc, the national chairman of NRM gave guidance that for those members of parliament who didn't vote, who didn't move with the party when we were having constitutional amendments, they will not be invited, and we don't expect, since they will not have invitations, they will not come to attend the national conference.
Some of the 27 MPs who voted against the party decision and will not be allowed to attend the NRM National Conference include Woman MP Kumi Monica Amoding, Kabarole Woman MP Sylvia Rwabogo, Theodore Sechkubo MP Remiaga, Woman MP Chirandongo Helen Kahunde, Patrick Nsaba MP Kasanda North, and Barnabas Tinkasimire MP Buyaga West.
And so, when you talk of somebody planning to come and cause havoc, we have already written to the IGP as per the Public Order Management Act to offer security.
Meanwhile, the NRM-leaning independent MPs will attend the national conference. The media briefing at the party headquarters in Kampala saw the party Secretary General Justin Kasule Lumumba and EC chairperson of the party Tanga Odoi share light moments.
You asked me a very good question and a very simple one. Working together is a strategy. Appearing together or not together is also a strategy. We've been working together. We have been building synergies. And even when we used not to appear together, it was also good for the party. For 2020, this is a beginning point. We shall be addressing press conferences together.
For UBC TV News, I am Philip Aguta.
So we are doing a second press conference.
So, Lusoga.
Thank you so much, Aguta, for that report there, and that conference definitely we shall be there to cover it as UBC TV. We're now going to take a very short break, but we'll be returning with what's happening in the world of business. Stay with us.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay. Dial *185#, select option 6, school fees, select option 2, school pay, select option 1, pay fees, enter student number, enter the amount, enter the PIN number to complete payment. Beat the back to school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
I hate marriages that fail. I don't want your marriage to fail. Why? I mean, I'm succeeding in marriage. Why should you fail? Why should you fail? I hate it. And that's why we come over here every other moment to unlock the marital bliss.
You know, you're my wife.
Yeah.
I loved you.
Yes.
I will always love you.
Yes.
I want to thank you for standing with me. I want to thank you for raising our children. I want to thank you for the life we have stayed together. Thank you for being a wonderful woman. I wish every husband had a woman like Justine. Yes.
I have loved you from day one, and I always love you.
Amen.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for taking care of us.
Amen.
I love you.
I love
till
you too.
death. God does us apart.
Amen.
A hug. Okay. Yes, once you have the key, you don't have to fight. You just insert the key, turn around, and unlock bliss in your marriage. And that is why we are here. Remember to always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, social media, YouTube, and hey, let us know how this has been a blessing to you.
We're coming to you live from Butekanga in Kamuli District, in the sub-county where I come from, where my leadership is being practiced, yeah, money is really a big problem that is hindering women to join leadership.
And in case you didn't know, Fasi Fasi is a show intended to make way for women in the leadership sphere. How can we create a space where someone who does not have 20 million shillings but has the ideas can become a leader in our community?
Did you know that the journey to becoming a politician is very costly, especially for women in rural areas like Kamuri, where the main source of income is subsistence farming? Going by numbers, money seems to be a critical factor in joining the political race.
And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's make way and make some noise.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is Lunchtime News here on UBC TV. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijana-Ngoma, and we are glad that you are still with us, and a warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now time for us to have that guest segment, and we are looking at global business trends, what's happening in that sector, and I'm privileged to be joined by Ms. Yvonne Mpanga Simogerere, who is a business development consultant and founder BT. Yvonne, good afternoon and welcome to this show.
Good afternoon.
Yes, of course, this is something that we have to look at, and I know you are organizing something else, but before we get into that, but you are known as a lecturer, in public relations and businesses. But where do you start organizing events? Because there is a dinner that's coming up for the CEOs.
Yeah, that is true. My company Good Works MCM does events management, but as a business developer, I noticed that there are very many people in Uganda who actually have set trends but have not been recognized or have not put their minds together to actually do that. I would mention many examples, but I'll just give a bit, 2 or 3 people. We have Uganda Funeral Services. They sent the trade. We have RBM systems. We have Koseki when it comes to management. We have NSSF. We have Mazima. So many. So those people, actually in 2017, I noticed that there are very many Ugandans who have set trends that need recognition. But later on, we realized that the trend setters, as we call ourselves, also needed to work with entrepreneurs and business leaders. So this year, and hopefully the years to come, we came up with a cocktail where business minds will be together to plan for profitability. In Uganda, generally, many people actually have businesses, have ideas, but they don't get to make them profitable. So this Friday, 17th, at Gordon Tulip, we are going to discuss how to make our ideas, how to make our businesses, our enterprises become more profitable. And we are privileged to have the MD NSSF, renowned speaker Peter Chimbowa, who is going to lecture people, not really lecture, but interact with people about setting trends and maintaining profitability by planning. We have Standard Chartered Bank's brand manager and corporate affairs person, Cynthia Mpanga, discussing how do we sustain brands.
Exactly, because I was coming to that, coming up with this dinner. Did you realize that probably there was something amiss that you have to address as chief executive officer?
Yes, as a matter of fact, many CEOs start the year. This event is timely. This is a time whereby people are actually planning, strategizing. But many people strategize for the year,
and
exactly.
Years,
and the decade this time around, we're strategizing for the decade. So we realized, and of course with our apprenticeship of my administrators, like high people who are good at events, we realized that the challenge people are having is they do the plans at the beginning of the year. When the calendar year ends, they have not been profitable. Where is the gap? So we want to address that gap. And that's why we are getting business minds together. We have about 120 CEOs who are registered and business leaders, and we are privileged to have NSSF supporting us in that, and many other companies like Afrofinance and several others. I won't mention
I was going to come to that because is it just CEOs or you're inviting some other people?
Okay, we have basically community. Entrepreneurs. You just see, they must be in a forest there are the big trees, the young trees and all that. So if the business minds are alone, then we won't get the young people carrying up the trend. So we have young entrepreneurs interacting with the CEOs and business trendsetters to make sure that we get something out that we believe that it will change Uganda, because people are bright. You and I are trendsetters, but we haven't explored those trends. The biggest trend started in Africa, by the way, not in Europe. Writing, literacy.
Most good things actually started here.
So we're like, how do we get those global people realize that the talent is here, and how do we synergize to see that we become profitable with those ideas of ours? That's the whole idea.
Yvonne, there is also this problem. You find that businesses start up, and even before their maybe third anniversary, they have closed, and these businesses have CEOs. Do you think, to a greater extent, CEOs have to take the blame? Where is the problem?
The truth is that when you are analyzing any organization, it starts with the head. When a family is not doing well, you won't blame the child, you blame the father. So if the country is not doing well, you blame the leader, even if there are many other players there. So the CEOs play a big role, which is why we want to mentor them, which is why we want to energize them for this decade so that they're able to plan profitably. And that will be, once again, I'll tell you, at Golden Tulip this Friday, starting 5 p.m.
Starting 5 p.m.
Yes.
Who else is invited apart from CEOs and
business
entrepreneurs?
leaders? You are invited.
The media?
The whole public. Yes, we have the media.
Because without us, you
will be
cannot.
there.
You cannot reach the masses. Your message out there cannot be put out.
The truth is that if you set a trend and it's not amplified, then who will know about it? If you set a trend and nobody knows about it, then you're stuck with it. So the media is really that candle that keeps blowing the way for us as we make these trends. You probably have seen online news already. The event has been publicized. It's been on social media, on Twitter. And we believe that when the CEOs get together, we will change the mindsets of the business trendsetters, mostly the CEOs, and then the young entrepreneurs will have some people to look up to.
It's good, actually. You're talking about young entrepreneurs. What is your message to these young CEOs who are, getting into business today? What would you tell them in order for them to actually, thrive in the world of business?
Thank you very much. When I started, I could talk forever because I'm a lecturer and I teach MBA students.
Because that's why I started wondering. We know you as a public lecturer, but still you can tell us what's your message to
my
them?
message to every Ugandan young entrepreneur is that please don't lower your head. Keep that candle burning. I started business at 22, I'll be honest. And the only thing that diverted me was the fact that I was building a bigger brand which overshadowed my small company. But I remember, and I'll be very brief about this, my CEO then said, you have this business going, how will you be focused on ours? And I said, I'm going to make it. So it's very easy to be diverted with the handouts you get from wherever, but remain focused, give it your best, you can't go wrong, especially when you have business leaders supporting you.
Well, Yvonne, I'm afraid we have to leave it at that. And thank you so much for the message, especially to young entrepreneurs and young chief executive officers. This has been Yvonne Mpanga. Yvonne Mpanga is the Yvonne Mpanga Simogere, who is the business development consultant and founder BT. That is
Business Trends.
Business Trends. She's been telling us about that dinner that's coming up on Friday. And
17th at Golden Tulip. See you there.
Exactly. So we're going to take a very short break, then we come back with sports. Stay with us.
Thank you.
We're coming to you live from Butekanga in Kamuli district.
In the sub-county where I come from, where my leadership is being practiced, money is really a big problem that is hindering women to join leadership.
And in case you didn't know, Fasi Fasi is a show intended to make way for women in the leadership sphere. How can we create a space where someone who does not have 20 million shillings but has the ideas can become a leader in our community?
Did you know that the journey to becoming a politician is very costly, especially for women in rural areas like Kamuli, where the main source of income is subsistence farming? Going by numbers, money seems to be a critical factor in joining the political race.
And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's make way and make some noise.
Welcome back, and this is Lunchtime News here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of sport, and we look at cricket first. And the cricket bilateral series between Uganda and Tanzania entered match day 2 yesterday with action at Chambogo University Oval. John Van Sentamo reports.
Uganda's under-19 girls cricket team has beaten Tanzania by 15 runs in a game played at Chambogo University Cricket Oval. Uganda started on the bat and scored 88 runs. During the Tanzanians' innings, Uganda restricted their opponents to 73 runs all out in 20 overs, and thus the 15 runs victory.
So I feel like we did not bat the way we should have batted. The runs we posted were very few actually. And but credit goes to the Tanzanian team. They also have a pretty good batch of fielders, and I think they restricted us to that small score. Second innings was a better show from the Uganda team. We've always been a good fielding side. However, there were still niches here and there. We dropped a number of catches, and the Tanzanian side was also very good with picking up the singles.
The Ugandan pursuit was led by Sarah Walaza, whose lady of the match performance gained her 27 runs off 22 balls and a vital catch during a time Tanzania were mounting a commendable chase.
We just had to continue encouraging our bowlers, more so the spinners, because we are doing well, and we had best bowlers, but we just thought of using the spinners because they are doing well.
In the afternoon session of this three-team tournament, Uganda's under-19 side edged Uganda Select to maintain a table leadership of this double round-robin tournament that will climax on Friday with a final between the top two sides. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Thank you so much for having kept us company. That brings us to the end of Lunchtime News today, of course, Wednesday, the 15th day of January 2020. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijanango, but please do not go away. Stay tuned for more programs to come your way at UBC TV. And up next is DW TV. Stay with us.
A designer, a chef, a travel agent, and a caterer will compete in the place we all know and love, the kitchen. For the grand prize of 1 million shillings, they will need every skill, every
We don't cut Nakati with a chopping board in Uganda.
and every advantage.
My husband taught me this.
But if you can't take the hit,
I'm worried about the food. We're getting there.
wait at the table.
I can be what I want to be. I can be a president if I want to be a president.
Or not. But wherever you go, don't miss the all-new series premiere for Django Today, coming soon.
Good morning, Uganda. Today is a great day to make someone's day. A wonderful day to rewrite the future. today is a beautiful day to light up their world. Or maybe even the perfect day to say, you're my world. A marvelous day to make a brand new start. The perfect day to make the world smaller